Hello everyone, and welcome back to me! Hi! It's me! Yeah, look, I won't put it off any longer. We've had a bit of a change in appearance since you last saw me. I've, HD'd up. But yeah, hello, it's been a while. And, in case you don't recognize it, which you shouldn't, we're not on Anadonia anymore. Not at all. This is not Starsick, not Anadonia, and it's not Prominence either, which, in all niceties, that is never coming back. I definitely want to do another pack with, my lovely Z at some point, but, a lot has happened since we filmed that pack. I think it'd be easier to just start a new series with them. But if that's not this series, and this series is not those series, well, what series is this? Well, Quarry. The instinct to say Tekkit is far too strong. Welcome to Tech Reborn. It's a custom pack that I've put together, focusing on, obviously, as you might be able to tell, Tech Reborn. And it's specifically designed kind of as an homage to the old school packs that we used to have, such as Tekkit and Attack the B-Team and all that sort of stuff. I've tried to keep it very simple in terms of mods, keep it very balanced as well. Keep it stripped back, but still fun. So yeah, just to explain where we are in terms of progression, because I mean, episode 1, all of this seems pretty wild. That's because it is. I made a little bit of starting progress before I decided to actually start recording on here. My darling husband helped me set up a farm so that we have a lot of animals. I built us a starting base, stacking layer on top of layer until we ended up with this weird saucer looking thing. And I also built as this sort of barn slash farmhouse over here. I improved the farm that he made for me and added some circuitry to automate a lot of it. Oh, I also got a sap farm. And as you might or might not be able to tell, we're actually walking on top of a quarry hole right now. This is the last real thing I've got to show you. If we just head on over here, hit the bouncy pad. Yoing. Yoing. Ow! Ah. The one downside to that. Come here. Freaky out toddler. Keeping with the old theming of things, we have the Aether. We have a very, very, very pretty world. And it's not just me on here. Oh, no. This is a private server for me and all of my friends. The entire cast can join at any point. We've got Ruby, we've got Z, we've got Atlas, we got Opal, we got Emmett, we got Gabby, we got Branch. We got them all. They could all show up at any time. So, you know, you might just see them pop in and out from time to time in these videos. I'd like to start recording now, though, of all times, considering everything I've done without you here. I see you. Well, it's because the timing has become right. Perfect, even. It's come time for me to separate from this spawn hub and go off into the wilderness to create my own unique base. I don't want my base to be at spawn. And I was thinking to myself, since the timing had lined up so very perfectly, what else could line up perfectly? What else could just click into place? So I was thinking about what design I should make for my base. What design I should use. What I should model it after. And I came to the perfect conclusion. What else could a spaceman trapped on Earth hope to build? I want to build an observatory. And this canyon is the perfect place to put it. We're sealed in all around us by natural terrain, giving us this barrier against everything else. And dead at the center is where I want to build my observatory. So I think before I do anything, I need to actually look at some designs, because my skills in this game are not with building. Oh, that's a very pretty design. That's a very pretty design indeed. Alright, I got one. Working with some low-res images here, but from what I can tell, this circle needs to be bigger. Quite a substantial bit bigger, actually, which is bad for me, because without any building mods installed, I'm not great at guidelines. But let's give it a crack. Ah. It would appear that my, quote-unquote skills in building have, shone through, shall we say. Well, I did say I was kind of just ass at this, but, oh, for f***'s sake. I ran out of f***ing sand. Are you kidding me? We're in a desert. How do you run out of sand? There we go, and I think that means that we now have a stable foundation on the outer ring. Yeah, from the looks of it, it's completely filled in all the way across. The inner ring, well, it's a bit of a different story. But the outer ring is safe, well, as it can be. Sun's going down, might not want to stay out here for much longer, might need to go back and rest a bit. But I'd say, as far as, like, the actual circumference, the diameter, the size of this beastie are concerned, it's pretty good. We do need to fill in the floor in a second, but I think I want to do something a little more interesting with the center than just flattening it out, you see. Give this thing some depth. Before that, beautiful as the night sky is, this place isn't safe when there are monsters around, and we haven't actually lit this area up yet. Alright, so I know realistically we should probably be focusing on the outside of this place first compared to the inside, but this is my process, and this is how I want to get things done. And how I want to get things done is I want to include a dip in the center ring. So I guess the first thing that we do actually need to do is flatten this out, so let's just quickly go around and do that. Okay, there we go. Flattened the inner ring out now. Let's just get rid of these annoying bushes. Okay, yeah, looking at it when it's all flattened out, this is starting to look nice. Oh, I'm already picturing how I want it to be in my head. I went to the Air and Space Museum in Illinois. I think that's what it was, at least. Not too long ago. A couple of months ago, in fact. And when you walked in through the front door, you had obviously, like, you had walls here to block you off from the center area, but all along the outside, you had different displays and things as you walked through. I think it'd be nice to get some sort of display action going on. Maybe not displays, but maybe just like some nice, intricate detailing. Maybe we've got some pictures on the wall. Maybe almost like a museum instead of an interactive display. And then once you get further inside, you get to the actual observatory part of things. I like it. What the hell's going on with the lighting in the background? Oh no, don't stop breaking on me. But since that is the direction of our old base, I figure we want the entrance to this one to be here. So if we offset it at an angle, I'd say there maybe? Or there? There's nicer. That's a nice looking door. I like that. And then if we extend the arches up a little bit, I think. I think I like it apart from that block there. That one feels a little out of it. Unless I duplicate it on that side, maybe? Let's try duplicating it on that side. No. That kind of works. Yeah, I think that's the closest I'm gonna get to liking it. It needs that one there, definitely. What about that? Does it need that? Ooh, you know what? I don't think it does. I think that works. I think I like that. It still feels like it's tilted off to that side a little too much, but I think that's just because of the offset of the actual blocks. It doesn't have to be perfect right now anyway. I'm just giving a broad outline to give this thing a sense of scale as for what I'm after. No! So f***ing stupid. I'm so f***ing stupid. I am so f***ing stupid. I'm not building that again. F*** off. The inside of the observatory, I'm almost thinking a spiral staircase. Not in the middle, but around the outside of the room that works both up and down. Deeper into maybe the lower levels, because I mean this is a tech series as much as we've been doing nothing but building, so it makes sense that we'd need a place to actually put our tech. No! What the f*** is wrong with you? Okay, we've got the inside ring staircase highlighted now. So I think, should we start digging down and then building up? I feel like we shouldn't start building up until we've moved on from the guideline stage, but at the same time I also feel like maybe we shouldn't move on from the guideline stage until we have everything guidelined. I'm really not sure. Let's guideline out the first floor, and then I think we'll move on to something else. And there we go. Woo! All of the supporting outside pillars have been put up. After we've put the pillars up, I think the next step is to copy the ring up top, just so we have defined walls for this floor. After that, I think if we put in maybe if we dig out the trench for the downward stairs and then we add in the actual spiral for the upward stairs, I think that's a good place to call the base designing. Okay, top ring done. Can I just have 5 fucking seconds of peace while I'm trying to build? You know what, while we're here, just to clear our inventory, let's collect some wood for a second. Ah, are you f***ing kidding me? F***ing hell. I had to pick somewhere near spot. No! I know I could make barrels, however I have that much chests are far more efficient at the moment. Out of my inventory, all of you. What was I doing? Oh yeah, new tool. Make our shovel blue this time. Oh, wow. We will add the door and everything in later, but Jesus Christ, we've finally finished tunneling out the staircase downward. I am to make use of all of this space, I am 100% adding rooms to the central column and the outside ring on the way down to this base door. This base door can lead to like the most important room or whatever, but we are putting rooms on the edge of this staircase. Dear God. Obviously, next is to do the upward staircase, copying the design going up, but dear Lord, I need a little bit of a break. So I think as a bit of a break, I am just going to start marking off the central walls to this area, and I think instead of doing 4 on the outside, we're going to stick to 3? I'm not too sure. Let's see how it looks when we're done. Looking at it now, I think, yeah, 3 is a good call for this one. Because then you have the paneling that you can do there. Oh, yeah, it's all coming together now. Although, if I... Moment of peace! If I look at this from the outside... Oh, I'm sleeping. Looking at it from the outside, I think I built the supporting columns on the wrong part. I definitely built them on the wrong part, because the reason I designed these on the outside was originally so that I could, like, panel this wall and then have it look like it was sort of on the inside of a framing. But by putting the top circle where I have, I think I've kind of f***ed it a little bit. We'll soon see. We'll soon see. I just realized I kind of said I was going to take a break from building by continuing to build. I do this with work as well. It's actually a problem. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I'm going to log off and jump back on probably tomorrow or sometime soon and do some more work on this, so I shall see you in a second. Okay, so in between episodes, I ended up actually having to remove the vein miner mod that I have been so attached to using for so many years now, FTB Ultimine, for the simple reason that it's getting in the way of me using flashback. Can you believe it? In case you don't know what flashback is, it's what's allowing me to do this right now, where I'm talking to the camera. It's also what allows me to record time lapses, which is why I couldn't record one for all of this. For some reason, FTB Ultimine and FTB Library kind of break flashback, and I'm not gonna use the replay mod because do I look broke to you? But yeah, that aside, welcome back, or at least welcome back for me. It's a brand new day. Several days in the future from when you last saw me. Go away, cactuses. And I'm just quickly trying to remind myself what it was I was actually doing here before I left off. And I think... oh yeah, that's right. I just finished the downward staircase, and I wanted to complete the upstairs one. And looking at how much work this is, do I have to? I have to, don't I? Ah, smeg. Okay. Let's see what we can Scooby-Dooby-Doo. There we go. I think that's right. I'm not really sure how else I'd do it, really, but them husks underneath me are getting on me bloody nerves, so I'm just gonna wallop a couple of these that need to seriously learn how to f*** off, and then I'm gonna go down for a kip. Hang on a second, if this one starts in quadrant 1 and ends in quadrant 3, it goes round, then shouldn't this one be ending over there? Have I buggered this up? I think I've buggered this up, you know, we're not done here. Give me back my bloody dripstone. We need to keep going. Right. Brilliant, yeah. Staircase is done now. At least staircase going upwards has been carved into air. So, I think when that time-lapse done, let's just put these down like this, so you get your shins on. It's not as easy to get up this way, you have to go up here now, but to be honest, I think it just looks better. But right, we've got the staircase carved going down, got the staircase carved going up, but that's to reach the second floor, innit? So if once we get up there, we're going to have to mark out the second floor now, and I think cobblestone's going to blend in too much with staircase, since we've used it for staircase, so we're going to have to grab a different type of block. But first, sleep. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Oh, I woke up. Yeah, heavy pissing, Cobbleback. What do we use this time? Okay, let's use deep sleep. Okay, yeah, all of this running around up and down is getting tedious. How do I make one of these warp stones? I know I said I wasn't going to use the material from the series that I wasn't recording, however, I've said a lot of things in my life that I haven't stuck by, and this is probably the least offensive of them. How the f do I make this? 4 ender pearls, an emerald, and 4 amethyst shards. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, by the way, that's the sole reason I have this guy. He buys emeralds. Rather, he buys paper for emeralds. I'm tired. Do I have any spare ender pearls, or did I use them all? Because if I don't have any ender pearls, I have 1. We need to go to the nether. Here's a boat I prepared earlier. In fact, there's a second one in here. You can tell this is not my first time doing this. Here's a portal I prepared earlier as well. Isn't it just so lucky how I have everything I need on demand? It's an enderman I prepared earlier. Ooh, you want me so bad, you want me so bad. Ooh, you want me so bad, you want me so bad. Really? Nothing from either of you? And they've got the audacity to be that noisy. Don't worry, this won't be like the Titanic, although for you it will be just as life-threatening. That's 3 of you at once. That is 3 of you at once. I'm not prepared for... Only 4 ender pearls? I mean, at least we have enough now, but... I was hoping to get more than that. Come on. Alright, back to... one more can't hurt. If there has been a black box at the bottom of my footage this whole time, that's because I wasn't in full screen mode. Shut the f*** up. There we go. We got ourselves a warp stone. Lovely. And, what's a waystone again? Oh. I'd need another one. That's not happening. Okay, so I know with a high degree of certainty that if there's anything I need to add to this outline next, it's the walls. And you might not think that walls belong in an outline, because usually they don't. However, when night falls and all the mobs start spawning around the desert, well, it... Really? as I was saying, when night falls and mobs start spawning around the desert, it gets quite hard to defend myself when they're able to simply just walk into my home, like I just did there. While I could do what I did here and light up the desert with all of these torches, I don't want to do that, because that's a lot more effort than it's worth. And I think what this will give me the chance to do is just figure out how much material I'm gonna need, because I keep getting it wrong. Like, for example, when it came to this platform here, if we just walk our way up here, I thought this was gonna take way less resources than it did, and I ended up running out of mud, simply because I thought, one, we had more mud than we did, and two, that it wouldn't require this much. This many blocks. So let's go get a temporary material. And if we just take a look at our wall of, blocks, I suppose. I was hoping for a more creative name than that, but I'm apparently not that bright. What have we not used yet? Honestly, gravel. I don't think we've used gravel yet, and for good reason, but for walls, it might work. We're looking at this big beastie of a building. Let's just plug some walls in and see how it ends up looking. I think I've encountered an issue. This is just gonna break. God damn it. And there we go. Looks like I was wrong. We have 1, 2, 3 stacks left over. Technically 2 stacks and 46, which means it wasn't 20 stacks that we needed in order to create a full untextured, ungradiented wall. It was actually only 17 and a bit, which, all things considered, not that bad when you look at how big the wall actually is. And as we were going around, I did just have the realization, my mind finally caught up to itself, of why I chose gravel. It's because it's easy to take down. When it comes time to actually implement a gradient and color the wall properly and use the right material, we can just stick a torch under them and have it drop instead of putting in all the effort of tearing it down again, especially now that we don't have Vein Miner, which is not fun. But yeah, we are now that little bit more safe in our work in progress first floor of the observatory. Although now that we actually have this paneling in place, we've got to work on the rest of the first floor, because that's where the second floor starts. So the second floor walls go around at that height, but we have quite a sizable gap of space between where the first floor ends and the second floor begins. If I just come up here, this is the level at which the first floor ends. That's the bottom of the second floor. That's quite a big distance. I can just touch the ceiling. So we need to work on something up there. Now, in most designs that I've looked at for references, observatories like this tend to just be a flat wall up and then a dome on the top. And obviously in some fanciful ones, the outside is still really well decorated, but it's still just a tube up the actual observatory. And we want that on top. But also the base is just looking a little fat at the bottom for the type of observatory that I'm wanting. So what I think we do here, in order to add some variation that isn't just block texture, because to be completely honest, I'm not good at that,
we've got to add almost a second level to the outside wall, and I want to indent it in by maybe at the most 2 blocks that sort of shoots up the rest of the way that we can decorate the outside of later. Because if I just did a solid casing all the way up, it wouldn't really work. Also, if you're wondering why I'm up here instead of down there, it's because I can't flashback in real time, so I kind of had to come up here to, you know, look at the building. So let me gather the material, and I'll see how it looks. This also coincidentally gives me the chance to use a brand new tool that I've been looking for a chance to actually try. It's a mod I downloaded that works kind of like Schematica, but instead of importing existing schematics, it uses that same block overlay in order to create a shape like a builder's guide. So if I hit enable, set origin to where I am now, set the circle as shape, and I do, let's say, a radius of 12, and I set that. Go to visualization, I think. Set origin, make sure this is all working properly. I exit out. Yeah, here we go. So it's glowing because I've got shaders on. But look, that is a perfect circle. So what if I go back into my menu now, and I rotate it, so it's along the y-axis, and then I up the radius until it's where the wall is supposed to be. 1, I can see how close I got to making an actual circle, because like I said when I first made this, I'm really not good at circles. 2, I can also see where it needs to be for it to be a perfect circle. So if we just keep expanding this out, and then let's raise it up. There we go, and we set that, and we set that, although it seems to be doing it by default. From the looks of it, we got incredibly close. It just came off it a little bit when it comes to the actual edges, like the curved parts. But we started out pretty good. In fact, we've even got the perfect length, the perfect number of blocks right here. That's really interesting. We came pretty close. So now, since we need this next level to be brought in by 1, let's just bring it down by 1, and let's see what we actually have to build. Okay. Seems simple enough. Let's get to it. Okay, neat. We've finished the circle, and now that I've placed them down in physical blocks, you get an even better idea at how off I got the edge of the circle. But you know what? I like my false, clunky, fake circle. This looks too clean, but we're gonna continue with it anyway because I have OCD. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split it. Instead of just doing pillars up until we get to where it needs to be, I'm gonna do pillars halfway up, and then I think I'm gonna indent it again and finish the rest of the way up. Just because, I don't know, I feel like that'll look a little better. But also I feel like maybe that's too early. I'm not sure. Let me have a look back up there. Hang on. Okay, looking at it here, the fact that we have a perfect circle sat on top of it actually kind of looks bad. And I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is. Is it just because it reveals how imperfect the bottom is, or is it because it's just left like that? Do you think if I put slabs there, it'll look a little better? Maybe we have to keep the janky circle. That's what my instincts are telling me. We need to keep the janky circle. I don't know. Let's try janking it up a little bit, see what happens. Okay, cool. We've unperfected the circle. Let's go see what it looks like up there. Honestly, yeah, it looks better with the not perfect circle. It scratches my brain that little bit better. But I do want to turn this back into a perfect circle at some point. Maybe around the midsection, floors 4 or 5, because I'm planning on making this thing pretty big now that I think about it. Or maybe I'll have it after this part, after we've gone up to the second floor. We'll turn the second floor into a perfect circle. I'm really not sure. Let's see how it works. Let's just, do we want to do a second tuck inwards? I feel like a second tuck inwards might be a little much at this stage. Let's keep it at the 1. No. Yes? No. Yes? I really don't know. Let's try keeping it at the 1. And let's install these bits, the supports. Let's install the supports. Yeah. Okay. Right then. We've got the indent and we've got the pillars. Let's go see what it looks like up on the mountain. Okay. Okay, yeah. I like that. I kind of dig it. I dig it. Okay, nice. I think now all we have to do is expand that top floor to its full size so that we actually have something to, you know, hit into when we finish the outside wall. I'm going to do that next, but I've got to take a quick break, so see you in a second.
Hey, I'm back.
And we're going to get this bit done. Let's get climbing. Keeping it simple again, we've got the upper layer secure. Now, instead of using gravel, I want to swap it out for sand to fill in that second level. Again, this isn't the permanent block we're going to be using. It is just a temporary placeholder that we're going to replace later down the line. But for now, I do want to fill it in anyway, just to see what it looks like inside. So let's get an abundance of sand from somewhere, and then we can get started. Ideally, I don't want to harvest this part of the desert for the sand, because as annoying as it is, this place is pretty, and if I start excavating it, it's gonna, well, not look pretty anymore. So we're gonna have to find another source of sand, probably somewhere over this dune over here, and if I remember correctly, we're gonna need just about 17 stacks of it, so I better grab that backpack. There's red quicksand. Off. This is going to be even more irritating now that we don't have vein miner anymore. Alright, let's get to work. Damn. That's an entire inventory's worth of sand. It really doesn't look like it, does it? But that's... Damn. I really just switched my brain off. Would you look at that? I think... Yeah, it's starting to become day. Finally, just in time for me to finish. Hell yeah. Let's head back and then fill them walls in. Okay, so we've just got that one block up there to replace, since apparently I can't place sand fast enough before falling. But on the inside, from the way that I've done the top layer, the thing that caps it off, you can see the struts, which you can't do on the bottom layer. And I think that's because there's just not certain blocks in this iteration of the wall that there are in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and replace them and add the sand so that we can't see the struts on the inside. Because it's supposed to be nice and smooth, except for these bits. But even then, I mean, you can see that there's one there and there's one not. So I think I might just keep the design element going and cover those up as well. And I'll get back to you once I've done that. There we go. I think that covers it. Let's go back up to our lovely little peak and have a look from the outside perspective. Aha! Lovely. We're getting somewhere. From an outside perspective, this looks pretty good. I'll say I still think the base looks a little too fat. I think I made it a little too big for what I'm going for, but you know what? It works. This is the first floor of our observatory, or at the very least, it's the outline. All we've got to do now is add the actual second floor, so we have like a roof cap, and then figure out what we're going to do to connect the two, because I think there's like a 2-block gap between the actual second floor and the outer wall, and I don't really want to raise it. If anything, I'd like to lower it by a block. So let's go fill out that floor and then see what we're working with. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I have finished flattening out this part of the landing, darling. Oh, wait, it took me a long time, but I finally managed it, and that's enough of that. Let's go back to being British. So now that we've flattened out the second layer of the base, obviously we are still one short of the wall technically connecting to the second floor. So we're going to go back up there, which is where we just were, question mark? I'm not sure where we were the last time I was filming on this world. I'm going to be very honest, it's been a while. But we're going to go back up there so I can take a better look and then see what we're going to do design-wise about this little gap in architecture. Also, I put this together in between cuts as well. I kind of forgot that I wasn't recording, and I stopped myself before I went too far, but this is just carving out where I want the reception desk to be. I mentioned at the start that I'm very much building this around the building that I went to with my friends when I visited Illinois. It was like a space center, so I'm going to use this part for like the front desk and reception, and then behind here maybe a bunch of staff storage. This outside row I finally decided we're going to use as a bit of a diorama, so whenever we're done with certain space related things, we can just put them down here to display, and then maybe create like like a cool little display board for people to read if they decide to come and visit. And then downstairs, we're going to have some stuff, which I haven't decided yet. And upstairs, the second floor, is going to be a lot more of the machine stuff. So the stuff we're actually going to be using, like the crusher and the condenser and stuff like that. I just instinctively said condenser. That's... Ooh... I'm not sure how I feel about that. We don't actually have the condensers installed. I specifically didn't install them for that reason. That's... maybe I was getting too overly reliant on condensers. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about the rain right now, but if we take a look there, it's very obviously floating now. We do have a couple of options here. Option 1 is we just extend this part of the wall to be the same height as the bottom part, so that it matches and that it touches that wall perfectly. However, I don't want to do that because I specifically designed this thing to be slightly smaller than this one because I wanted to have that kind of gradually smallering effect. That's definitely not the word, but I don't know what the word is. Option 2 is that we don't line up the wall with the floor. So we just add another layer and make it look good on the outside, but on the inside have it not be aligned, which is what I'm leaning towards currently, except for the fact that there's also option 3, which is find a way to somehow place another layer just around the outer wall so that we can start a new one. Let's see what that looks like first, because if that fails, we can just go with option B. Okay. It doesn't look that bad, I don't think, but it's still not sitting properly with me. I don't know what needs to change, but something needs to change. What's wrong with this? Why does it not look good? Is it the change in texture? Is the change in texture what's messed it up? I thought the change in texture would look better. Let me try something. Hang on. Okay, thoughts? My thought is that it does not look great still. Even with additional texturing, I don't think it looks great still. You see, my next solution was going to be to extend these specific struts all the way up to continue that pattern. But to be honest, I don't think that's going to work either, and I'm not sure what will. If we had vertical half slabs for everything, I'd have done a half slabbering around these, but we don't. So maybe if I expand it, that could work? It's worth a shot. Okay, I would be able to tell how much I liked this if it had stopped raining, but it decided to start basically as soon as I'd finished. So, unfortunately, I don't have the clearest view of this. But from what view I do have of this, I can't say I'm satisfied. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, and I'm not sure why. Maybe if we just keep going, let's not get snagged on this detail, let's keep going, and maybe if we add some more on top, maybe we'll start feeling it a little better. And I know exactly what I want to add on top. I want to add more of these struts for the next layer of the base, but I want to do it slightly differently. Instead of putting them on the edges and the center of the curves, I want to put them in the wrong places, the opposite places, the middle, if that is a middle. I don't actually remember if that's odd or even. But either way, we're nearly done with the outline. So, oh my god, that was nearly horrible. I nearly just moved onto the second floor. We're just outlining the first. I did that without even realizing. I nearly moved onto the second floor. No. Let's finish the stencil for the first floor, and then I think I'll be finally happy to call this one here. Let's go tidy up the first floor. Okay, and putting that final bit into place, honestly, I feel like the opening part of the staircase is a little too cramped on this side. It does not feel open enough. I think it's because of this wall here and this wall here. Coming into here, it feels alright. Not the best. It could do with being a couple of blocks wider, but I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself that I like it, because if I hate it, I am never going to be happy with it, and the entire time I'm building this, I'm going to be incredibly upset, and I'm not going to like the project, but also now that I put all of this effort into it, I don't want to tear it down, so I kind of just want to blow this whole thing up, because that's how much anger is swelling inside of me because of the fact that it has turned out so I guess I just didn't plan for enough space in the staircase. The outside atrium, as it is right now, perfectly happy with this as a shell. The inside atrium, not happy with this as a shell. I'm happy with the space. There's just not enough effort put into it, in my opinion, for it to be a finished shell. But also, it's meant to be a shell, and most of the details that I want to add that would make me happy with it would not be found on a shell, so I'm convincing myself to like it. Ironically enough, it feels like the downward stairs has more space, even though they're identical. This feels fine. And obviously there's nothing down here just yet. But as far as the main build itself goes, to say that we've finally finished the actual outline of the first floor of this observatory, I'm kind of happy. I'm still trying to convince myself to like it, but I'm happy with it. Come on, what do they do in therapy for people like me? Hang on. That's where the Enderman stole that block from. That son of a... Quicksand, quicksand, always quicksand, son of a... Alright, come on, you want to be a better person? Pavlov yourself into liking this. 5 things that we like about the design. Come on, 5 things. Even if you don't believe it, list 5 things that you like about this thing. Right. Number 1, it's got a unique shape. It's simple, and it's been done before, but it's not a perfect circle. We wanted a perfect circle in the beginning. We tried our best, we didn't get it, but this just makes it more unique. What else do we like about this? Number 2, despite the fact that we kept running out of blocks a lot, we didn't have to go out of our way to get the materials to build the shell, and we didn't run out because of the quarry that we have. So it was actually a pretty quick build, all things considered. Okay, a third thing. What's a third thing? Usually, on a build, I'm not happy with either the exterior or the interior. I've never gotten them both right. On this one, I am happy with how both turned out. Okay, number 4. What's number 4? Come on, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Number 4, it actually feels kind of like the build I was trying to replicate. Building that I was trying to replicate. It's not exact, it's not perfect, but for the first time I can think of where I've tried to replicate a build, technically the second now that I'm thinking about it, for only the second time, it's not a bad shot. And number 5, the 5th thing that I like about this is that the style of building is unique. I've never built something in this way before, where I've completely or near completely created an outline of the building out of scrap material to then go in and replace later down the line with the official material. I've never done that, and so this is giving me a brand new experience that is helping to expand my creative toolbox. Why did that actually make me feel better? What the f? But yeah. With the shell done, I'm happy to call episode 1 here. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and tell me what you think of this new series, because it's been a while since I've done one like this. Yeah, in case I don't see you, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.